Happy Thursday and good morning. Of course, it's Dr. PJ just coming to you with all things higher ed. And so when I sat down this morning, I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea. It's always water. So I can't say, oh, it's a coffee read. But nonetheless, what you would consider a coffee read. I sat down and the article that struck my attention this morning came from Higher Ed Dive. And the title reads rather, California's two-year system reports scam involving 65,000 plus fake student accounts. And I just thought to myself for a second, I was like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? Of course, it had to be the pandemic, right? And in doing that, that's pretty much what it was. So during the pandemic, of course, a lot of institutions of higher learning were not able to meet their anticipated budgets given that we were not having classes on campus, right? So the federal government, for the most part, subsidized through their coronavirus relief programs, which was about $76 billion in direct payments that were given to each college or university. So considering that, some of those payments did go directly to students. So if anybody that's in the business of scamming and possibly attempting to get over on somebody, they might think it might be an easy hit. Because of course, as a part of admission processes, most institutions you have to do either the FAFSA or some form of an application or a statement saying how you're going to actually pay for this. So given that, people probably say, well, hey, the U.S. is probably vulnerable right now when it comes to, this virus that's happening and they've been displaced and nobody's really on campus and people aren't monitoring things as they should. So it pretty much made schools susceptible and somewhat of an easy target almost. So nonetheless, they had 65,000 financial applications in the two-year system in California. So they say it's about, let's say, give or take, across all of the campuses, it's possibly, there we go. Across the campuses, they have about 116 institutions that service about 2 million students in particular. And in this instance, hey, they said, we're just going to jump on. We're going to get in what we can get in. So what happened, it says the officials with in the California Community College District, it says they suspected, fake student accounts were created, they were created to obtain financial aid, such as the state grants, any Pell grants, or the coronavirus relief funding from the system. People wanted money. You may have heard, if you have a student or if you yourself are in school, a lot of institutions, at one time the federal government gave them a lot of money and you had to get rid of it or either you had to send it back. And so most institutions just cut it even with their enrollment numbers and just made direct payments to students. So this would have been somewhat of an easy come up for students or whatnot. And of course, these were fake. And for the most part, they kind of ruled this to be like a data breach. People just tried to find a way, tried to find a hack. So I just wanted to come on and just talk about that very briefly. Of course, I'm going to actually include the link to the article for you to go back and read for yourself. But I just thought that it was very timely and relevant. I was taken back because I was like, oh my goodness, what if that could have happened at my institution? But no, they definitely took advantage of a very large community college system and one that services a lot of students, give or take. And I found it interesting that most of those student applications, it said in the article, were for those that made less than $40,000 a year, and most of them were over the age of 30. So of course, in that particular instance, you would kind of qualify for some level of assistance to subsidize your education. Yeah. So nonetheless, thank you for your time. Make sure you check out the article for yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye-bye.